Hello, everybody. Quick question for you. What is the cost of your operation standing still for just 1 hour, a few days, right before Christmas? Whether you're managing a terminal, a port, a global fleet, we all know that holiday rush pressure. The vessels are moored, the yard is full, but suddenly screens go dark. No storage plans, no gate codes, no arrival clearances. The physical world is ready to move, but the digital brain has suffered a stroke. I'd like to share some of what I've learned from nearly 17 years as an investigator in the Microsoft Digital Crimes Unit. My goal isn't, of course, not to tell you how to run your business, but to share patterns I've seen behind the scenes so you can better protect it. So, quick disclaimer, every IT environment is different, so this is not a diagnosis of your network, of course, and it's just a practical checklist and sharing experience here. Think of it as questions to annoy your IT team in a healthy way. So, going back to that story I stumbled across, a few days before Christmas last year, a major container and a general cargo terminal operator in Latin America was publicly listed as a victim of the Lynx ransomware group. Public reporting describes a very familiar modern pattern: double extortion. Data is taken and encrypted, and pressure is applied with the threat of publication. Now, the key point for shipping is not what happened to them. The key point is a terminal is a node. When a node is disrupted, the shock travels. Let me put that attacker group Lynx into perspective for a second. According to the dataset used in the reporting, Lynx is not a one-off crew. They are an active ransomware group with more than 380 publicly listed victims so far, with cases tracked from mid-2024 through early February 26. And their victims tells you something very important. They go where the leverage is. The sectors in that dataset include manufacturing as the largest chunk, business services, technology, and importantly for us, transportation and logistics. So this is not a maritime-only gang. It's an industrial-scale extortion machine. They pick organizations where downtime hurts, where commercial data is valuable, and where one incident pressures many partners. The dataset also shows a typical delay between the estimated attack date and public claim. That's about 26.5 days on average, which matters because what you hear publicly is often weeks after the initial intrusion. So, what the maritime industry can learn from that. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Ransomware is no longer just an IT problem. In maritime, it's an operational disruption tool. And incidents like that port in Latin America highlight three simultaneous risks. We have the downtime, operations slow down or stop; the data exposure, commercial and operational documents become leverage; the cascading effects, so partners suffer even when they're not attacked. The third point is where maritime is uniquely vulnerable because the industry is interdependent by design. How these intrusions usually start. Most ransomware incidents do not start with the Hollywood-style hacking. They typically start with basics. It's phishing, it's stolen credentials, remote access weaknesses, or third-party account that gets abused. Then comes a quiet lateral movement. That means that the attacker is just kind of looking around in your network, making himself familiar with your IT systems, trying to find your crown jewels where they're hidden, and making sure they're hidden, also locating all your backups. So it's a privilege escalation, and only when the attacker is ready, the loud part, the disruption and extortion starts. Let me share maybe some practical ideas. Questions leaders could ask their IT departments and their IT teams. So if you're a CEO, COO, fleet manager, terminal manager, port manager, you don't need to speak IT. You just need to ask questions that force clarity. Here are 10 questions for your IT team, and they should be able to answer that very clearly. If ransomware hits, are we planning for data theft or only encryption? What is our restore to operate time? In hours, not in slides. What are the crown jewels, systems and data we cannot afford to lose? Do we have multi-factor authentication everywhere it matters, especially remote access and admin accounts? Could one stolen password move an attacker across the whole company? Are we segmented like ships, or are we essentially one flat network? When was our last full restore test, and what did it take in people and time? How fast can we detect unusual logins and unusual admin activity? So who has remote access into our environment? Vendors, suppliers, support teams. And how fast can we cut it off? In the first 60 minutes, who is in charge? Operations, IT, communications. What is the playbook? Do you have a playbook? And if your IT team says we should be fine, ask one follow-up question that changes probably everything. Because based on which test and when did we last run it? All right, let me close now. This case from Latin America is a reminder. You can do everything right in your own organization and still be impacted through the ecosystem. So pick 3 of these questions and ask them this week. If you don't like the answers, maybe you just found your highest ROI resilience project of the year. And because when screens go dark, time becomes most expensive commodity you own. Thank you for your time.